Oki, Tamak Skanatani. It is the morning of July 7th, 2015. Going into the last quarter moon of Misamsota, the long rains. And I'm out here at Spopikimi this morning. It's overcast. Had a little bit of drizzling going on earlier. And I'm here to begin my berry harvest for the season. Starting with Saxi Paksinitsaman. The currant plants, the Sarsi's gooseberry as it's called in Blackfoot, Saxi Paksinitsaman. It's always the first berry that I pick, and shortly thereafter Saskatoons are going to become ripe. Yesterday, John Nightingale and I were down here on the wet meadows picking kakitsimo, the mint for mint tea, the classic Blackfoot mint tea, kakitsimo. So that was out there on the wet meadows. It's getting ready. That wet meadows in previous years has had lots and lots of mint. This year not so much. So I still got a lot of mint harvesting to do, but I noticed yesterday as we're coming around the bend that a lot of the golden currants are ready, and so I'm gonna go start harvesting some of those today. I was out here a couple of days ago, Sunday, with one of my students, Carol, and noticed a couple of other new plants are coming into their flowering. Manikapi, which is the wild bergamot, and the yellow primrose starting to flower. So took note of those, that it's occurring at the end of this moon. Seeing lots of hairy golden aster out here, and there's a new plant on the well, not necessarily a new plant, but there's a plant on the wetlands that I haven't learned or noticed before, and it's still a mystery to me. I got to look it up. It's got kind of a yellowish flower. If I get a chance, I'll go out there, but I'm not going to be here too long today. It's a great day for harvesting berries, given that it's overcast. It's not too hot, but I got a baby crow at my house that I'm taking care of, Oscar, while Mahoney is at her staff retreat at the Coast Plaza Hotel today. So I got to take care of Oscar, and I can't leave him alone too long. Maybe an hour I'll be out here picking, and then I'll have to shoot back up, and whether I come back out or not remains to be seen. I kind of doubt it. I also have some work to do at home, so, but I just want to get in a little bit of harvesting every day now that the season has begun. Well, it began a while ago, but I missed some of the plants. I've missed some of the mustards and things that I had opportunity to get, but I'm not going to miss the berries. So golden currants have started, and I'm gonna harvest. Here's one of the golden currant bushes, Saxi Paksinitsaman. Just has lots of berries on it. So I'm gonna pick from this one first. It's down here on the south end by the wide south pool. There's another berry out here right now, which you can see here behind it, this red one. Sometimes it's red like this, sometimes it's golden, just like the golden currant. Different plants have different colors, but that is the Tartarian honeysuckle, and you want to be able to distinguish for sure the Tartarian honeysuckle from the golden currant. Golden currant berries, they look like gooseberries. They're kind of lined down the sides like gooseberries, and they got the ends of the old flower hanging off of them, and they're in bunches. They're in bunches like little bunches of grapes. If you look at the Tartarian honeysuckle, they don't have the lines, they don't have the flower remains, and they're in pairs. They're bunched in pairs rather than in groups like grapes. So those are some easy ways to tell the difference. Of course, you can look at the leaf too. The leaf of the currant plant looks like almost like a maple leaf. The leaf of the honeysuckle is kind of a oblong leaf that doesn't have any of that maple-ish look to it. So there's a lot of differences between them, but I could see somebody making the mistake, choosing one of the, picking honeysuckle when they thought it was currants. But once you really get to have a good look at these plants, you shouldn't make that mistake. Lots of little birds out here today, and I'm looking, the last couple of days, the last couple of visits, we've been seeing this female goldeneye out here. She's been here at least a week, and so I saw her yesterday with John, and then last week during a visit with John, and then over the weekend a visit with Carol. We saw the goldeneye. So she's around. I don't know why she's here, but she's around. Most of the other waterfowl on the lake, on the pond here, are the mallards. Strangely, not very many teals, or the teals that were here didn't stay. There's still the one lone coot hanging around. But yeah, no redheads. It's been an odd year for waterfowl here, and we got the super family still of geese that are here. It's the first super family in 8 years. I was just picking some of this dogbane stems on my way out. I'm probably gonna come back, but I just picked for an hour the berries. Now I'm grabbing some dogbane stems to continue making into rope. I've got a good piece started, but right as I was picking in here, a really big wandering garter snake crossed my path. Let's see if he's still here. Man, he was a big one. Oh yeah, he's still here. I see him. He's in there. I don't know if you can see him, he's pretty camouflaged. But he's a good sized snake. There he is. You see him? There he goes. Yeah, he's not a small fry. Not as big as they get as far as wandering garter snakes go, but he's pretty big. Let's see if I can find him again. I think he's probably going too deep. He's eluded me, evaded me. Whatever the proper word should be. But yeah, that was a good snake. I haven't seen a whole lot of garter snakes here the last couple of years. Used to be a ton of them, and I used to know where their hibernaculum was on the far southeast side, kind of on the river side of where the spring seepage must come into the pond, in some of the rubble that was used to make up the levee along the river. But they moved, and I don't know where they moved to. They did move. I think they might be up in the coulees, up toward the toward that area where I'm aiming the camera now, because beginning of the season here, there was a couple of sightings of bull snakes up that way, so it's a good possibility that that's where the new den is. But yeah, around the pond used to see tons of these garter snakes, and now not too many. So it's nice to see one this morning. Yeah, I think just in case I don't come back out this morning, I think I'm going to quickly make a run over to the nearby Rattlesnake Rookery and check things out there. The weather is just perfect conditions. I think that should find a good number of rattlesnakes hanging out, trying to get a little bit of sun warmth through the overcast skies at the rookery. Hoping so. Yeah, sure enough, there's a whole pile of rattlesnakes out here. That's a nice older one right there. It's a big snake. A few of them actually, they're all pretty good size. These are the females who are going to be given birth this year. That's why they're at this location. They're here because they're going to have their babies here. Which won't be till September. Meanwhile, they're sticking close to the spot. Oh, so back home with my berries, and I'm going to show you how I keep them. These currants, cannot be dried. So in the past, it was kind of a macrobiotic approach. You'd have to eat them in season, but nowadays there's other ways. So we have, of course, freezing technology. So this is the berries that I picked yesterday morning. Might go back this afternoon and pick some more, but basically like a fifth maybe of a large Ziploc bag full. That took me a good 45 minutes, pushing an hour, just to get that many berries. You can see here's some from last year's batch that I'm still working on. Mix them with my smoothies and that kind of thing, just put a handful at a time. I got probably a couple of bags of last year's berries still in there. But yeah, it takes a lot of effort to pick a good amount of saxipaksinitsaman, and freezing is really the only way to store them long term, unless you're gonna turn them into jelly or something like that. But I like them just the way they are. Like to eat some in season, like they did in the past, and then store as much as I can for the winter.